This is the Fantasy Alarm NBA DFS Show with John Impemba and James Grande.
What is going on, FA Nation? John Impemba here with James Grande. Welcome to the Fantasy Alarm NBA DFS Playbook Preview Show. We're looking again at a two-game slate here on Thursday. Milwaukee versus Indiana, New York versus Philly. These two series could end here today if the right teams take it home. Pacers are at home. Sixers are at home here. Grande, the Knicks-Philly series has been
a banger.
What a series. Tyrese Maxey hitting a logo shot to go to overtime last time out there. And then eventually they were able to overcome the Knicks there in overtime. Then you got the Pacers and you got versus Milwaukee. Milwaukee obviously down all of their stars for the most part. And obviously Middleton's good to go, but no Lil last time out. Doubtful again. No Giannis here. Just a tough overall series for them. They've been competitive in some of these games, which is great to see, but it's probably curtains here.
I don't know. I'm a little indifferent about it. Obviously the Lillard, Giannis doubtful tags are upon us again. Seems like Giannis is closer than Lillard. I don't know if like they were to continue to advance. I don't know if we'd see Lillard anytime soon. Just given how recent his injury was, how he spoke to Doc during that fourth quarter and was like, "Hey, just use me as a decoy. Like I'll be out there, but I'm gonna be nothing more than a decoy." Giannis has obviously gotten some like on court work and stuff, so. I don't know if it's done. What we saw from Indiana was really bad. They being the Bucks mixed up a lot of their matchups in this series. Obviously, Bobby Portis didn't get ejected in this one either, so that's obviously a bonus when you have what's your second best player, who might have been their best player in this game. I know Middleton was amazing as well, but Bobby Portis 29 actual. 31% usage led the team, 30 a plus 30 for Bobby Portis in this one too. So yep. I'm not totally sold that this series is fully over. I
don't know if Milwaukee can win a road game, I guess is my
that's the thing, right? Can they without Dame continue to get the production they got from Chris Middleton, continue to get the production from Bobby Portis? I think it is worth mentioning that Indiana is, they're deficient defensively, right? Like that's been their issue pre-Pascal trade. They were better since the Siakam trade. They have like good defenders in Nesmith and Nembhard, but you saw what happens when Aaron Nesmith isn't on the floor. Like they have no one to really guard Chris Middleton, and that's a problem. I mean, Nesmith had 5 fouls, could barely stay on the floor in that game. So I don't know if it's over. I could see 2 game 7s here. How about that?
Okay. Well, we'll find out. First game here, Milwaukee, Indiana. We just kind of went over it. Got the Bucks here. We have an idea of what rotations may look like. So if you're picking players to build around on the Bucks side of this matchup here, what's the core plug for you?
Yeah, so they did change up things last game. You and I had talked about like Andre Jackson not randomly entering the rotation in game 4. He barely played in game 5. And that was Portis related, right? Obviously, Bobby Portis comes back, plays 40 minutes. Andre Jackson's gone. So they're starting 5: Beasley, Portis, Middleton, Beverly, Lopez. Malik Beasley played 8 minutes in the first quarter, then played only the final 52 seconds of the second quarter, played all of his minutes in the second half. It's still like hard to get to, but he did all of that production came in the second half. Every single statistic was a second half statistic. So you can definitely get there at 48. I think their starting 5 is just relatively appealing. Chris Middleton, again, has been amazing. 64, 46, 54 fantasy points, 3 straight double-doubles, 40 minutes in each game, 20 shots in each game, 5+ assists in each game for Middleton. So that's where you'd start. Bobby Portis, Same thing can be said for him. He's been amazing in basically every game he hasn't been ejected, or at least in games that he's been extended in.
Right.
In the 2 games where he's played 39 and 44 minutes, 44 and 46 fantasy points, double doubles, right? He is a lot to deal with for Siakam and Miles Turner and Toppin and whoever else Indiana's going to try to guard him with. So Bobby Portis 77 is really appealing. We saw no Portis. Well, hey, look at that. Brook Lopez, 12 points, 30 rebounds. It's like no surprise, really, that he comes back to earth. 6,200 probably a little bit too pricey, but he's going to play 30 minutes, so you can get to Brook if you want. Beverly was great in this game. We could talk about like Portis and Middleton being like the best 2 players on the floor, but dude, Patrick Beverly was amazing in this game.
I saw his too small, celebration that he had there.
Yeah, the first game he did it. He got a technical for it, which is,
Mhm.
I mean, absurd, right? We're
Yeah.
in the playoffs. Like he's been doing this during the regular season. Like let the man live. He's 6'2" and he's doing this. Like you think he means this? But like he was great. And if there's gonna be no Lillard, and this is the type of production we're gonna get from Patrick Beverly, where apparently Bill Bleak is perfectly fine, then I'm definitely interested at 56. I think the rest of the rotation was interesting. So 31 minutes went to Pat Connaughton off the bench. He was their primary 6 man. 26 fantasy points for Connaughton, 9 points, 4 rebounds, 4 assists, 2 steals, and a block. If he's going to get 30 minutes, then I think there's a lot of appeal there. And then buckle up, John. 20 minutes went to none other than Danilo Gallinari in this game.
Love
Now
it.
for the second straight game that he's played double-digit minutes.
Yeah.
I think that they're like looking at this. Indiana has a lot of size on their bench. They just have a lot of size in general. In the minutes where Gallinari's playing, they're going zone and stuff. Like, if they're gonna give Gallinari 20 minutes at 3,300, especially on 2 game slates where there's Middleton and then there's Halliburton and Siakam, and then we get to Brunson, Embiid, Maxey in the late game, like you need a Danilo Gallinari at 3,300 to give you 17 fantasy points, right? And
Mhm.
you have a good opportunity to get Embiid Brunson or Maxey Brunson or Middleton Maxey Brunson, right? There's whatever combination. So I do think Connaughton and Danilo Gallinari are pretty interesting value plays on this.
On the Pacer side here, we've talked extensively about the top end production. Miles Turner did not come through as much as we had hoped in that game there. $7,200, maybe a return home where he had dominated the 2 games prior. Fixes some of that for him.
Yeah, I mean, Indiana just looked terrible. He didn't even like play that bad, 6 for 9. But he just 9 shots was not on my bingo card after 21, 17, and 15 in the 17 the first 4 games. So yeah, I assume their big 3 get back on track. Siakam has looked mediocre after the first 2 games of the series. Obviously, Bobby Portis is a pretty good defender, so a very aggressive defender at that. So that causes issues. I'd be okay getting Siakam. I do think the Halliburton back injury is something to continue to watch, because like he's gonna play and he like is playing through it. 34 minutes. Obviously, he lost some time. Like looking at it right now,
All right.
he lost the final 458. So I guess he was trending towards 40, but like 13-point game prior, 32 minutes. Like that back is a little bit concerning. He said he told reporters that he wasn't sure when it originally started. He's like, I don't think I can play tonight. And obviously, he then thanked the medical staff for getting him through it, but he's going through something right now. So
Sure.
if he's not at 100%, obviously 8,500 is a tough pill to swallow. I'm okay with it in tournaments, especially if he does end up playing full capacity. Turner is a great play. Not going to let one bad game get him down. We need Neesmith. You need Neesmith to be the guy that play 38, 43, 36, 37 minutes and not get in foul trouble. But that is obviously on the table guarding Chris Middleton in this form of Chris Middleton, who looks like a superhero, just trying to will his team to wins while it's like, hey guys, like, are you guys coming back or not? Like I don't have a working ankle. Like I need you guys to know. I need to let me know if you're coming back because I'll keep playing on these ankles until they go. But so Neesmith in tournaments. I think Andrew Nembhard continues to be like just a plug and play. This is just a really good series for him, really good matchup for him, and really all capacity offensively. It's been really good stuff in the stat sheet. So McConnell, and then I think like McConnell, Top, and Shepard all definitely in tournaments because they're just the three guys that continue to get rotation minutes. So I think you could play any of the starting five. Neesmith probably being lowest on the totem pole, and then Top and Shepard, McConnell in tournaments for sure.
Yeah, you've gotten more 20 fantasy point games out of Toppin than the groups there. So,
yep.
And we've talked a little bit of Obi Toppin most of this series while we've been doing this show. So I think that certainly makes some sense there. To the main event, Knicks Philly. Knicks has a chance to close this out on the road. Jalen Brunson just continues to be an absolute MVP. I don't even think there's no hyperbole there. He's been playing like an MVP. It's $9,700 on this slate. After that, you kind of know the supporting cast and how they've been here. If you're picking between Brunson and Embiid on this slate, in this game series, like is Brunson where you lean your hat?
It's hard. It's really hard to pick, I would say, between them. Obviously, Jalen Brunson has 39, 47, and 40 actual points in 3 straight games. And the minutes for Jalen Brunson, like he was a guy at the end of the year that would be getting limited. They played 7 players. They played 7 players in this game. And Jalen Brunson played 51 minutes in an overtime game. So that means looking at he played he had a 2-minute rest in the 4th quarter. That was his rest. He played the first
36
38 minutes of the game.
Yeah.
He played the first 38 minutes of the game straight. Which is soft when you look at Josh Hart's minutes because Josh Hart did not sit. He played 53 minutes.
Well, they were conditioning Josh Hart after the All-Star break to play all games. So
did you see that quote that he said he feels more prepared than other teams because like he was like giving Tibbs credit because like he feels more prepared
to play
than anybody because he doesn't sit. So I would say Brunson slightly ahead of Embiid, but like also Embiid has not shot the ball well and has 64, 58, 69, 59 fantasy points.
Sure.
Game. So it's like if Embiid's gonna get, I don't know if he's getting healthier, but he seems to like if the rust is kind of coming off at all, then obviously Embiid has, he scored 70 in a game. So Brunson's in elite play. I'm probably gonna toy with lineups that have them both, right? Have Embiid, have Brunson. So,
sure.
Brunson's the tip of the spear for sure here.
McBride, the best value on the slate?
Yes. No doubt. He definitely benefited from the DiVincenzo had really early foul trouble in this game. 3 fouls and he had 2 in the first quarter. He might even had the 3rd in the first quarter too. Did he have 3 in the first quarter? No, he picked up the 3rd 1 minute into the second quarter. But even with DiVincenzo not in foul trouble this series, like he's played better than him this series. So yeah, Miles McBride is the plug and play value of the entire slate. I don't even think it's a question. I would say the only thing we don't know about the Knicks: Brunson, elite play. Hart, 50 minutes, going to get you a minimum of 35 fantasy points. OG has been really good in terms of fantasy production the last 3 games. If you want to get to him, he's safe. DiVincenzo, tournaments only if he gets hot. Hartenstein, 27, 28 minutes was solid. We know McBride's a key staple off the bench. If Mitchell Robinson plays, I think there's a case to play Mitchell Robinson. And if he doesn't play, well, then Precious Achiuwa is 3,200.
Right.
And there's probably Hartenstein probably leads that split. Like I would assume that you get Hartenstein playing like 30 minutes
Yeah.
and Achua probably playing the other 18. But we saw Precious in 18 minutes, like 7 rebounds, 2 assists, 4 blocks. He had 1 point. He went 0 for 5 from the field. He looked like he had no idea what he's doing in game 4 offensively. But he looked amazing everywhere else. So yeah, if there's no Mitchell Robinson, the only other thing that we can really add to this equation is Precious playing the backup 5.
Okay. Philly side of this matchup. You mentioned already Joel Embiid. He's definitely been a monster for sure.
Yes.
No, don't need to go into detail there. Tyrese Maxey was another level of play for him in that series. As we always say, you need a big player to step up on the road to steal one. They did that there for Maxey. Now they come back home for a chance to tie it, and then they'll need him again in Game 7. 52 minutes, 17 of 30, hit the shot to go to OT. Can we get this type of performance back-to-back games from Tyrese Maxey?
Dude, that stretch was like the T-Mac stretch of like 9 points and whatever, because he hit right before that, he hit the 4-point play
Right.
into the Hart free throw split. And then it's like, why didn't you foul? Oh, foul. You didn't foul.
Yeah.
Oh, and then you get all the stills of John Stewart and Tracy Morgan flipping Tyrese Maxey off, even though Tyrese Maxey's like the nicest person alive. Yeah, I mean, Embiid and Maxey are as elite as it gets. They're going home in this game. Maxey's been peripherally great. The shot attempts have been great. This is what they need from him if Embiid's with Embiid the person. I shouldn't say if with Embiid the percentage of health that he is, right? Like they need Tyrese Maxey at times to be 1A. Like I want to give Joel Embiid as many flowers as I can for that overtime where he looked amazing defensively. But he deferred to Maxey because this dude, like late in the fourth and overtime, was amazing. Like, and Joel understood that. So, if this is the version of Maxey we're going to get remainder of the series, it's hard to fade. He has 260 burgers on his resume in this series. Obviously, Embiid, he shot 7 of 19, and he had a triple double. Like, we're getting to the point where he had 9 turnovers, triple double, 64 fantasy points.
Yeah.
Like he's selling out on blocks. Like the knees are going, but he's giving it all. Like so I have no problem getting to beat Maxey. It's just the rest of the team that is pretty tricky to talk about here.
Yeah, I mean we were confident in Lowry for a bit, and then he goes for Ofer.
And he fouled, and he was in constant foul trouble this
yeah. Obviously Harris has struggled. Oubre's been hot and cold. We've Batum had that game 1. Like, where do you have a favorite of the bench?
Yeah,
I mean, the remaining starters here.
Yeah, I would say it was really good to see. So there was chatter before the game about moving Tobias Harris to the bench and starting Batum, and that was a conversation. And even Nick Nurse alluded to possible changes. They didn't obviously do that. Tobias Harris had his best game of the series. He needed that game more than anybody. Probably him, just because I think we know he can do it. And also 4 of the 5 games, he's had 8 or more rebounds, right? It's just the points haven't been there. Yeah. He had 19 last game. Maybe he gets the Trey Turner treatment at home, like where they don't actually boo Tobias Harris. They clap for him when he gets home, and he does like what Trey Turner did last year for the Philadelphia fans, and gets them to a game 7. So I would say Toby. I do think Lowry's fine at 46, but would you rather play him over Deuce McBride? I don't think so. But you can get to Lowry if you want. Batum, if he makes shots, we say this every time, dude, he played 33 minutes in that game. If Nick Batum makes shots, then Nick Batum has value. Because we saw it in the play-in game. It's few and far between those games, but we saw in the games where he scores, like he's very sound perfectly. He rebounds, he assists, he gets steals, blocks, and stuff. So you can play Batum. I mentioned it to you the other day. You can play Campaign as a punt if you want. He's going to play 14 minutes, but he's playing over DeAnthony Melton. He's playing over Buddy Hield right now. So if you want to play a 14-minute Campaign for near mid salary, you can do that as well.
Okay. Let's build a lineup then. We're going to plug McBride in here.
Yeah, for sure.
For some value.
Absolutely.
What's your next play? You said you want to try to do a JoJo and Brunson lineup? Not even doable. Let's see here.
It's
5K a play. So
it's probably doable. We're gonna play Nembard. I would say for probably Pat Connaughton at $4,000 at small forward or forward. It doesn't necessarily matter. And also like we don't need to do this either because like Middleton and Portis exist and
I mean, you can
he's
still
like
get one of them.
let's play Brunson. He's $1,000 cheaper too. Play either Portis or Miles Turner there.
Play them both. Give us
Yeah,
85.
play both. Yep,
Josh
play both.
Hart.
Yep.
Example lineup for everybody: Jalen Brunson, Deuce McBride, Pat Connaughton, Obi Toppin, Miles Turner, Andrew Nembhard, Bobby Portis, Josh Hart. Getting us some exposure to the Knicks, a couple bucks, and the Pacers there in this one. Guys, again, appreciate you all tuning in here. Slate dependent, I guess, for Friday,
Yeah.
right? I guess we'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, let's see. Is there we can actually look. Let's look at the schedule right now. Friday. Yeah, so no, we will have 2 games.
Okay.
And if Miami doesn't come back from a 32-point fourth quarter deficit, it will stay 2 games.
Okay.
That
So
would
we'll
be the
definitely have a Friday show, but that
Yeah.
will likely be the last show.
Cleveland, Orlando, and Clippers, Mavericks
Okay.
game 6s in both those series.
All right. Well, then we'll see you. We'll see you for Friday slate. We'll have that breakdown for you, and that could be it for us here. But until then, good luck with your lineup builds, and we will catch you all later.